My Rich Husband's Secret, a short story by E.B.'s Hart. She was so tall and beautiful, with a skin as yellow as the sun and a hip so round and sumptuous. Every man wanted a taste of her body, but they could only dream, as Urema is focused only on getting married to a rich man who would take her family out of poverty. Urema's parents were poor, her father was a petty farmer and her mother sold beans cake, akara, in front of their house. She had 8 siblings, but she was the brightest and most beautiful of all her siblings. They fed from hand to mouth, but they were good people. Urema prided herself and always told her friends that she must marry the richest man in their town. Then one day, he sighted her. He was returning from a meeting with the governor of Jekon City. As the richest man in Jekon, he must be part of every decision that affects the city. He always loved them skinny and very beautiful. So seeing Urema, he gasped, "Wow, I think I just found a wife." He asked his driver to pull over and call Urema for him. His driver did as he was told and Urema was all smiles. "Good evening, sir," she said, genuflecting. "You are so beautiful. What is your name?" he asked with a charming smile. Urema replied with a soft voice, "My name is Urema, but you can call me you. Get into the car, let me show you my house." Urema looked back at her friend and back at the rich handsome man wooing her. The urge to follow him was more than the urge to follow her friend. She jumped into the car without a second thought. They drove into a mansion that is so beautiful and big. Urema felt she just stepped into another world. Her head started spinning at the sight of a very beautiful garden, swimming pool, garden, and so on. She was lost in awe when he tapped her. "Do you like what you are seeing?" She was startled, then she stammered, "It is so beautiful here." "Then be my wife," Byron said without beating about the bush. Urema didn't understand what he meant. She exclaimed, "Do you mean I should be your wife?" Byron smiled and nodded. He knows his prey when he sees them, they are usually the desperate and hungry ones. He smiles some more and gave her a ring. She flew herself at him, and screamed, "Yes, yes, I will marry you. I will come and see your parents next week," he said, smiling again. She was charmed and already in love with him. The following week, Byron came to see Urema's parents with a trailer of goodies. Foods, drinks, cloths of all sorts were all over the place. Her parents danced and danced. He told them about his intentions, and they accepted without a second thought, just like their daughter. His father simply asked him if he was the same Byron he has been hearing about. Byron nodded. He concluded that there was no waiting. "I prayed for a rich in-law, and God gave me a very rich one," Urema's father said, raising his hands in the air. However, when he left, Urema's younger sister asked a question no one even thought of asking. If he is so rich and connected, why would he marry Urema? Why would he marry someone from such a poor home as ours? Urema's father slapped her mouth and told her to shut up. "Instead of you to be happy with your sister, you are here telling everyone how jealous you are." After some months, Urema moved into Byron's home. By then Byron had bought a beautiful house for her parents. She was introduced to their servants. "There are so many servants," she thought to herself. "Almost 100 servants." Few weeks into her marriage with Byron, he found out that he does not eat food. Every time a table is set for them, she would be eating, while Byron watched. If she asked why he was not eating, his replies were mainly, "I am not hungry," or "This is not my kind of food." After a while, Urema started getting worried that Byron does not eat nor sleep. He leaves the house every night and returns in the morning. Urema called the man Byron introduced to her as his head servant and asked her where Byron usually go to at night. He eyed her angrily and warned her never to ask him such question again. Then one night, Byron prepared as usual to go out at night. Urema pretended to be asleep. When he left, Urema quietly followed him. She crept under one of his cars and was watching him to know where he would enter. He went towards the garden and vanished. Urema went to the garden and started searching for him. After a while, she started hearing a beastly noise as if a beast was breathing in the garden. She kept walking until she got to the inner part of the garden. What she saw was too scary to describe. She saw her husband, who had transformed partly into a beast, devouring one of their servants. She screamed, "Byron, what are you doing?" Byron turned and looked at her and rushed her immediately.